Finally, it's match day after the broadcasters have finished embarrassing us, just dropping us on any match game week that they want because we ain't got nothing else to do. The boys are back from Dubai. The boys are back from holiday. The boys are back from, I call it the national break. Yeah. But listen, it's back to business and top four is right there for us to grasp, man. Chelsea fumbled. Come on. Think about this. Aston Villa fumbled. Liverpool got the jammy last-minute win. But it's right there, guys. Now's the time to start putting in the work of consistency to just make sure we get in the Champions League. No questions asked. No making it go down to the wire. There's still a lot of games. I get it. But we have to capitalize. Every man is rested. Uncle Cass, he's had like 12 days. He was at the Pro Direct launch, chilling in the Arndale Centre with Dallo. They've been relaxing. Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro, chilling, warm weather training. Bruno, gone back home to watch his old team. Lamon's gone back home to watch his own team. Mentally rested, emotionally rested, but charged up. Charged up. Hill Dickinson Stadium tonight. We need to be taking 3 points. We need to be taking 3 points. What are you saying about it, guys? Let me know. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is Monday. It is game day. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys. I don't even know who sings that song, actually, but I just know it's obviously a big song.
Thin Lizzy.
Excuse me. Is that who sings it? Right, I never knew that.
Yes.
You know those staple songs that are just always a song? But yeah, the boys are back in town.
At Terence Base 1,730 super chatted €5. Game day time for revenge after that embarrassment against 10 men. Also that derby last night was a horror show. Save West Ham and drop Spurs in there.
Agree with that, Terence. My reaction after that game, I literally said, and Spurs, while you're at it, do you know what? Just get out our division. Just get out of our league. I was just like, you got no players. You got this Igor Tudor guy. Just get out.
True.
At Tabers Abdullah 3,207 super chatted £5. Prayers up to my mum who's in surgery this morning. She's a proper United fan. I told the surgeons she needs to be home by 8 PM to see Carrick Ball.
Tabs.
Tabs.
She's really serious like that, just going like, I'm assuming everything's going to be okay. Is it going to be done by 8? Because we've got a game this evening. So you know what I mean?
Which shows, though, to be fair, hopefully it's something that seems quite routine and gets back and stuff. But listen, always, God willing and that, bro. In terms of surgeries and stuff, because they're surgery. So big up, prayers to Mumsy. Whole community's with you and Mumsy. Big United fan. Tabrez is as mum. She'll be home by 8, brother. Don't worry about that. She'll be there to watch the boys get 3 points. Actually, Tabrez, you just jogged my memory because I was supposed to get back to you about something else. I ain't forgotten. I'm going to shout you at the end of this. But yes, big up to Tabrez and your mum and the family, bro. And big up to Terence Pace coming through at the start of the show as well, who's definitely very, very right, by the way. The last performance we had against them, monstrosity of a performance, 10 men. Etc. etc. So yes, Terence, 100%. These men need to do the Lord's work.
Yes, exactly. They need to do the Lord's work. They need to put the work in, and they need to get results because Flex, that's what it's about. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Have I heard that before? Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA, and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings, and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. 2 of our own. Owen lost over 100 pounds in 10 months. And KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds. And Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work. Yes, let's get to work indeed. As always, folks, you can scan that QR code right there to subscribe and save up to 70, easy for me to say 70. So I hope Man United are quicker out the blocks than I am. 70% off your first order. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. Wait a minute. I'm just going to pass it over this morning.
Yeah.
Throw. There you go.
Cheers, Owen. Thank you, mate.
You're welcome. That wasn't very wooden at all, was it? Yes, it was good for your weight loss goals. You can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep. Just once again, there you go.
Cheers, Owen. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. Which is good for your restorative sleep. You can get them individually or combined, any which way you please. All the information is in the video description below. You can click the link. It's pinned in the chat. It's in the video description. Find out all the information and get optimized today. Optimized. I didn't even do a countdown. Optimized. Optimized today. Yes. It is match day. It is game day for Manchester United in the Premiership. And look, we're in that situation. We've been in it quite a few times recently, Flex, where we're playing on a Monday. And when you play on a Monday, you know exactly what you need to do. Everyone else has played. You know exactly what you need to do in terms of results, where you're going to be if you win or if you lose, if you draw. And the big question is this a bit of a top 4-6 pointer, even though it's Everton? Because as you mentioned, you look at Chelsea, dropped points at the weekend. Liverpool just kind of skimmed it just got a little bit lucky at the end. Aston Villa dropping points. But if Manchester United do get a victory this evening, could this be a bit of a statement by United, Flex, after the dropping points against West Ham, and there's a bit of, all right, you had your new manager bounce and your 4 wins in a row, then you had your first little bit of a setback. And is this now the test of, I'll tell you what, win this one?
Correct.
Actually, that was just a little bit of a setback. They've
Correct.
reacted well. They're getting a bit of gap in the top 4 position. They're closing down Aston Villa. And like I said, it's a bit of a top 4-6 pointer.
It is. All of the things are true. Like, just like anything else, you can't go too far left or too far right. We were saying before we went live that, you look at the Arsenal situation, right? And it just goes to show you like how one result can change things. Wednesday night, done with them, judges are saying, and they're all self-combusting because of who they drew against and how bad it was. But literally because of the manner of what happened yesterday against an awful Spurs team, but Eze taking the headlines, Gyökeres finally doing all that, and it's like, oh, actually, even them, it's like, was it that bad? Maybe it's just got to keep going. It doesn't mean anything's over. You just keep going. And the reason why I'm using them as an example is not to say we all thought Arsenal were going to bottle the league and now all of a sudden they're not going to bottle the league. No, all outcomes can happen. But it's that reminder of like, it's football. Like, just chill. Like, we're not even fighting for anything near what they're fighting for in any form of fronts. It's just one thing. But it's like, if we draw tonight, doesn't mean everything's over. If you draw 2 in a row,
Flex.
like I know, which is what everyone would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I want us to go and win. Yeah, I want us to go and win. I think we will win. If we lost tonight, doesn't mean that we're frauds and this is why we thought the team was back and they're just not back. Because then if you beat Palace when Chelsea lose their next game or something else happens, you go, oh, it's not that bad. And I'm saying this as me as well, because I'm like, but fucking hell, if we don't win and like you say, relegate 6 point of top 4, build it up, like, and it's just another game. But there is a context of the league where absolutely you're allowed to look at things and go, should be winning that, and if we can win that, then you can do this. And if you don't win that, and Liverpool are on the tails again now, level on points, getting a bit close there. Like, there's loads of things, bro, that you look at and you go, it's all just relevant. It's all just true. All of it's true. All of it. Yeah. Which is why, Rich, coming from me, we have to take a step. We got to take a step back and be like, we're going to be inconsistent. Michael Carrick hasn't just waved this wand, even though it felt like a wand has been waved and was saved against City, against Arsenal, against Spurs, against Palace. But we're not going to win all the games, guys. We're going to suffer an L at a point. We're going to win more. We're going to draw more. But back to the positive side of it, to what you're saying, if now we've dealt with, I've spoke about that. You're 100% right. There is an opportunity there where you go, Palace have dropped points. You can take advantage here. You can be within 3 games of them. Sorry, 3 points. Sorry, 3 points. We'll be 3 points behind Palace. Behind Villa if we win today. We talk about dragging them into it. Their pressure's getting to them at home. They're not playing very well. And again, like you said, Chelsea. Been arguing with Matisse about this the whole year. I'm saying, bro, stop this snobbery that you're this, that, and the other. You look at Chelsea, lucky against West Ham to come back. Effed it against Leeds. Effed it against Burnley. And this is the easy run that he's on. They ain't really lost any games. Now they're going to find out Arsenal away. They've got to play Newcastle. Got to play Liverpool. Got to play us. Got to play Villa away. I think might have City. I can't remember. So they've got a whole batch of hard games. So we're going to find out what they're about. So I want this bad tonight, but there's going to be so much more story to unfold regardless of what happens tonight. But here's a chance to make a statement. One to ourselves and our fans to say, like you said, Owen, last week, it happens, man. Weren't at the races. Carrick said there wasn't really a spark there. Get the spark back. Go on the front foot. Let's play. So to do that, and then obviously to get a hold of the top four, like you say, to keep pushing away, keep getting that distance, and keep showing the others that we're here to be consistent. Like someone said there, what did they say about, there you go, make it 10 games unbeaten, man. Now that can happen. Yeah. But, let's go. Let's go grab the W, man. Let's go. It's right there for us.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think, it's easier said than done, isn't it, to do the whole, well, you just got to take it carefully and, be calm and be measured, because it's then the game happens and the manner of which it happens. Let's say we draw the game because we can see the last minute equalizer. We're going to be very frustrated by that, right? So there's a lot of things that can go into it. But I agree that this is what I was saying after the West Ham game, going, look, not going to win every single game. There are going to be games where we don't play well, where we do drop points. But tonight is really interesting because it is the first time that there has been a setback or, a bit of a stumble under Michael Carrick. And it is, how do you react to it? Now, there's loads of different schools of thought, isn't there? Because in that West Ham game, it was one of the first games, the first game under Carrick, really, where it was 2 games in a short space of time. And there was this kind of feeling, wasn't there, of maybe a little bit fatigued, maybe a little bit, just not really at the races, a little bit slower. Is the time off going to benefit that? Are we going to be really, really sharp because we've had this time off? Or are we going to be a bit rusty because we've had such time off, right? We've had 13 days between the games. We've had the national break, whereas everyone else has been playing football and been involved in competitions and what have you. We haven't. So because of that, are we going to be sharp and chomping at the bit, or are we going to be slow and sluggish? Hopefully it's going to be the former rather than the latter in that one. This is an Everton team that are also doing quite well this season too. Where are they in the league? Ninth in the league this season. David Moyes, you know what they're going to do. They're going to play more than West Ham did. They're at home and they'll come out and play a little bit more, as opposed to West Ham being a bit more difficult to break down. We still have the same things that we've had before, which is once the possession goes above 50% for us, our sort of win rate goes down. So are we going to have a situation where Everton give us a lot of the ball to try and actually stifle us? Or is it going to be a case because Everton are at home and because Everton aren't a bad team, we actually have less of the ball and we can play a little bit more on transition, and that helps us out too. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just glad that my team's playing again. These 13 days have been shit. They've been horrible.
So long, isn't it?
Yeah, and just and even that, knowing that the end you have to wait to the weekend again before we play, is kind of rubbish. But the positive of being the last to play in a game week is, like I said before, you know exactly what you need to do. We know exactly what we need to do. As we have said, even after that West Ham draw, which was, it still is all in our hands. If we take care of the business we need to take care of this season, we will be in the Champions League next season. We're not having to rely on anyone else, and the teams are still dropping points around us. We're not even hoping that they have to or they are going to. They're just doing it. We can focus on ourselves. We can just take care of what we need to take care of, and we will be in the Champions League next season, and no more of this 13 days off because, we're just out of every single competition. But this is the Premier League. This is, as we've seen, it's not just us that can drop points to teams we're expected to beat or what have you. This can happen to the best teams in the league, like Arsenal against Wolves just midweek. So it's going to be a difficult one. And like we said in the preview, I think it is going to be tight. You know what I mean? I think it is going to be tight. I would love for it to be a, easy. Oh, I'll tell you what, we absolutely swept them. It was brilliant. I don't think it's necessarily going to be that. This is what Carrick's third away game. He had the one against Arsenal and then the one against West Ham, 2 totally different away games. And this is totally different too, isn't it? Hill Dickinson isn't Goodison Park in terms of atmosphere and being on top of you and the old school grounds, whatever. But Everton haven't done bad at the Hill Dickinson Stadium either. So
it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game.
It's not an easy
and
game,
listen,
no.
let's be honest, Owen, bro. There is no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League. Like, there just isn't.
Not.
There's games that you can make easy, that you can end up winning fairly comfortably by the end of it because of they turned up on the day. But in terms of going into a game, I can't think of one opposition. And I'm talking about even Spurs. I know you go, look how shit Spurs are, and that's an easy game on paper these days. And maybe, do you know what? Ironically, it probably actually is them. Because I'll tell you what, Burnley and Wolves at the minute, they're just kind of just party poopers a bit. Got a bit of fight in there, even though they know they're both going down. They're not just totally toast.
Yeah, it's that time of the season, like I say, that smaller teams start beating the big teams. Yeah, it always happens. Happens.
Start ruining stuff for no reason, playing with a bit of freedom because there's no pressure because they're already down. Then the ones that are fighting, West Ham, we know all about that. Forest, look how they played it, like new manager now, and even in general, still give you a tough game on any day. Leeds drew against them, give you a tough game. Really, the easiest game is Spurs, actually, to be honest with you. They're actually, it's incredible what's going on there. Like, I actually look at it thinking, well, with all the players they've actually got out, and this Tudor brother, like, he's already cussed them out in the presser. Like,
did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did, yeah.
Actually, I got the clip.
And you're just going like, he's already going, fucking hell, I've been Spurs. Like,
he's done the Conte thing already.
He's essentially done the Conte thing already, bro. Look at this.
This is crazy.
Our goal.
I know.
Where is our goal? Where is the goal of this club? Where is the goal of this team? Where is the goal of this coach and of this player and all stuff? To become serious, not just group of 20 players.
You're talking about being serious of one game.
And the medicine is you look in the mirror. Each of us looking in the mirror and really try and really start to change the habits. Where is our goal?
See, now he's saying, what he is trying to galvanize, and he's saying he's not detaching himself, and he's basically saying, like, I've walked in here and it's a shit show. We need to change these habits. Like, they don't run, they don't listen. He's just cussing them out, essentially, but still saying I'm part of it. But for that, after your first game, to be his assessment, if you're a Spurs fan, you're going, fucking,
look at that subtitle. One game in, he's going, where is the goal of this club? What is actually the ambition of this?
Madness, isn't it?
Of this club?
Madness. So back to the point. When I said there's no easy games in the Prem, Spurs is the only exception. Actually, Spurs is the only exception. So unless you're playing Spurs, right, there's no easy games in the Prem. Back to my point. So, I feel like the Everton game is the same. We know this. You know, James Garner playing well this season. He's just a gay. You know what he's all about. Got sent off last time we played against him. Dewsbury Hall's been a good signing. I think Grealish is still out, isn't he? He's out for the rest of the season. I think Grealish.
Out rest of the season. Yeah, rest of the season.
But Ndiaye, we know all about that. I'd buy him in a heartbeat. I think he's a nice talent. I'm looking at him at left wing next season personally. You know, they're stubborn and sturdy from set pieces. You know, Tarkowski, Braithwaite's back in there. Pickford, annoyingly, sometimes he just pulls off, you know, good saves. You know what he's like. But they're not, like I said, they're not being great at home. Everton are terrible at home, but I agree, tough game, low block. Exactly that. Exactly. I think that's the best way of, you know, it's not like this is a fortress. Like you say, teams would feel quite nice probably going there. It's not cauldron. It hasn't built up that fear element of, like, fucking hell, you're going Goodison Park, fans are on top of you, not going to get kicked today, they're going to be at it. It's not like that. So that hopefully that should help. That should help. And it has helped a lot of teams who have played at the Hill. Even Spurs won their 3-0.
I know, which is
4-1 or whatever it was that day. Battered them.
Yeah, which is remarkable. I mean, just looking at the Premier League table here as things stand going into this evening's game, you can see, look, it's tight. it's tight. Man United, of course, on got a game in hand over Chelsea and Villa and Liverpool and what have you. We're level on points with Chelsea currently. If we were to win, we'd only go 3 points behind Aston Villa in third, which is crazy. Critically, though, we're level on points with Liverpool. I mean, look at that. You've got three teams there, all on the same amount of points. Obviously, we've got that game in hand, but that just goes to show how tight it is and why, as we said earlier on, while slip-ups can happen and will happen, if they can be avoided, that would be great. Because this is the one where you don't, if we were to draw and we go up to 4th and it's 46 points, but we're still massively in that, that scrap, aren't we, with Chelsea and with Liverpool and one slip up, you can be going down to 6th or what have you. Whereas if we win, we do have that just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit of cushion room. And that's why, look, that Liverpool late win, it tightened this race. And even though it shouldn't, it did have an impact on this game this evening, didn't it? That little bit of pressure of, because if Liverpool would have, not got, if Liverpool was sat there on 43 points today, we'd be like, wow, look, if you don't get the win today, it's not the end of the world, blah, 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 which it still isn't. But you would be going, the pressure's on, pressure is on. And that is going to be very, very tight. I mean, that's a proper top 4/top 5 race, isn't it? Between now and the end of the season, there will be twists and turns. I wouldn't even be shocked if basically Chelsea, United, Liverpool all move up and it ends up being Villa that maybe misses out or something like that. I mean, they're dropping points, aren't they, at the moment as well?
They are.
And to be honest, those 4 teams there, Villa, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, when you look at the recent form, it is Chelsea and United that are sort of dominating that. But as you can see, there's inconsistencies there. You know what I mean? There is absolutely inconsistencies there. And it's a very, very tight race, which is why, as we said, slip-ups are going to happen.
Because look
football,
at Villa. Said, they are.
But when they do, they can hurt. Because you can...
They can be damning. They can be crushing. I mean, Wolves... Like Villa got Wolves next year. So hopefully we can win this next game. And then on Friday night, Villa play and they got Wolves, Let's assume that we win and keep pace with Wolves, so we go 3 points behind them. They play Wolves, let's say they win, which they probably will. It's away, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah. But let's just assume they do. Then we beat Palace, and then Villa got Chelsea, and then us. So there's something. There's
a lot's going to happen there, isn't it?
A lot's going to happen. A lot.
Yeah.
Like look at Villa's last 2 games. They got Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
it's
and you know what? I hate myself for doing it sometimes because you start calorie counting. You start do that. Start doing maths, and then you forget about yourself. You don't add in the points you didn't think you was going to drop against Crystal Palace at home, or you don't add in the fact that they won every single game and they've gone back to winning 4 in a row and you couldn't catch them. Or there's loads of things. You don't add in Liverpool being resurgent, maybe, let's say. There's loads of stuff,
well, and also those teams there, Villa, they're in Europa League. Obviously, Chelsea and Liverpool got their, the Champions League commitments as well. So maybe not right now, but next month, March, April, because focus starts shifting on that. Maybe they take one eye off the league, and that is where us playing the 1 game a week is hopefully going to benefit us, because there's nothing else. There's nothing to distract us. We have 0 excuses for distractions, do we? What are we distracted by in terms of other competitions, other matches? This is when it goes back to when we were talking about the team selection, wasn't it? With Carrick, because there was. I know going into that game against Everton, there was against West Ham, there was why has he kept the same team again? It's because there's no need to rotate, really, is there? Because we
still might not as well.
And that's the one tonight. That's the one tonight. Well, let us know in the chat. Like, does Šeško start?
Does he / should he? Yeah.
Because does he keep him as this kind of like? No, I want him to impact the game second half, and we're still away from home, so I kind of want that fluid front 4 still. I kind of want that Mbeumo, Ahmad, Cunha, Bruno interchanging. Like, that's what I want, and I need that person on the bench. You know what I mean? I need someone to bring on that can come on and change the game. Which, look, to be honest, if Šeško starts and say Mbeumo's out wide right, let's say Ahmad's on the left, bringing Cunha on has been proven to affect the game positively. We saw it against City. We saw it against Arsenal. Ahmad, last season under Ruben, at some points came off the bench to positively impact the game. I don't really see Mbeumo or Bruno getting dropped, to be honest. I think they're kind of the certainties in that starting 11. So, I do agree. I think we could see a situation where, despite Šeško scoring that brilliant goal against West Ham, and actually on top of that, his recent record, just in general, even prior to Carrick, has been good. I could see him still starting on the bench, because sometimes it's weird football, isn't it? Sometimes if you come on and positively affect the game, that can actually work against you. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can just become that, like, oh, you're the guy that always comes on and says, to help out. Whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether it's Chiesa at Liverpool, or whether it's who was the striker that they always used to bring on at Liverpool that scored all those goals? Then he went to AC Milan. I forget his name. Origi.
Origi.
Yeah. You know, you can have
So
some people like that, you know what I mean? It can be a negative, you know, for you that you keep coming on and impacting the game. But I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if Šeško didn't start this evening. Even though they probably should. And look, it'll be interesting to see if Carrick does change the team, because like we said, he's had no reason to in terms of sort of fitness or anything like that. The only change he's made is Dorgu because of the injury. But now's the first time we didn't win a game. So does he decide to go, actually, that's not working anymore. I need to do something a little bit different. You know, that'll be the one to see. And also, like with any other coach, he will be judged on those decisions, won't he? Because going into that City game, when the first team news came out, there was a feeling then of oh, Šeško, you're unlucky not to start. You've done well recently. You're unlucky not to start against City. But then completely vindicated because it was our best performance of the season and we were fantastic. Whereas tonight, you know, if he doesn't start Šeško and we don't look great, then it will be, hey, Carrick, you know, that one was staring at you there. You kind of got that one a bit wrong. And that was the talk in the West Ham game, wasn't it? Going, a couple of things you maybe got wrong there. You know, you corrected it, but a couple of things you got wrong there. So how are you going to react? And it'll be the same thing tonight.
Yeah, no, I think so. And the more I look at this, and this is the bit of getting carried away. I think if we win tonight, it's kind of going against what I'm saying, but I think I'll be really excited. I would, because I think it is that kind of one of like you kind of there's a bit of not getting too carried away.
You're going down the bookies.
No, absolutely.
Flex, you're going to put a bet on.
No,
Flex, put a bet on. Why not going to put a bet on?
I'm not putting a bet on.
Why not?
I'll put a bet on. Put a bet on for us to get Champions League if you want.
Kev coins.
Kev coins, they're worthless and silly. Kev coins, buy money freely.
Why not?
Well, Kev coins ain't real. Yeah, Kev coins. Well, Kev coins, yeah. Fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like I said to KG on the last show, look, Arsenal won again. Why we've got to forget about that title thing.
Put some Kev coins on it. Just put some Kev coins on it.
Kev coins ain't real life currency. It's not real life.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I'll put Kev coins on it.
Yeah, like dust in your pocket, as the lyric goes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might have a bit of dust in this pocket actually.
Exactly. Kev coins.
Yeah, that's fine. Kev coins are fine because it's not real. But I'm talking about real life money.
Real money.
Yeah, real life betting. Not doing that. For us to win the league. But
when would you?
What? Put money on for us to win the league?
Yeah. What would it take?
It would take nothing in this season. It can't happen.
Categorically, there's no way you would put money on Man United to win the league this season.
This season,
yeah,
no, because I don't believe what would need to happen. That's a good question. Because then I'm talking about things that What would need to happen is that Arsenal would need to lose. I'll tell you. Let me have a look properly to give you a real answer. For me to say something as silly as we're going to win the league, or we can.
Get the table back up.
So 45, so 50. So what are we? How many points are we behind Arsenal? 14.
Yeah, we're no, we're 16. 16, excuse me.
16 points, obviously, where we play tonight. We play tonight. So the first thing that needs to happen is we need to win tonight, which is our game in hand on Arsenal.
Yes, yes.
So what are we now? 16 points. So that's taking
yes.
to 13.
Yeah.
Right, so we need to get back to 13 points behind him is the first thing. Right?
Well, we've got 2 games in hand over him, remember? 2 games in hand.
Oh, was it 2? Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, so let's get that.
We could go to 10.
So let's get to 10. So the first thing that would need to happen is we need to win our 2 games in hand and get to 10 points.
Yeah.
Then at 10 points, I need Arsenal to lose 3 games in a row. And City to lose 3 games in a row at the same time. So that we're a point behind both of them. Or, well, we'll be a little bit closer to City if that happened. Then I would do it. So, how many games have we got left?
12.
12. I'd need to see us win 10 games in a row from this point. In a row. And even that, because of the points difference, it still might not mean a damn thing.
Yeah, it still might not be enough.
So here's what I need.
75 points.
Right.
That'd be like 75 points, which is not enough to win the title.
It's not enough, right? Exactly. I need Arsenal and City to lose 3 in a row right now, and we win 10 in a row. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
I think.
Does that sound about?
Because this was kind of like, discussion about, the KG putting the bet on. When, like you said, when you do crunch the numbers and
Yeah, they don't
realize,
stack
like,
up.
no, they don't really stack up. Like you said, you go, well, if we won all of our remaining games, how many points would that be? So we'd be on 75. We'd be like 8, but what about 81 points? Which usually is not enough to win a title. Like it's usually not. But it's a bit of an unusual season. But it's not. The focus has to be top 4/top 5 Champions League and go ahead with that. But what is quite interesting is that it could be as high as third. Third's not one of those ones where you go like, no, third. We talked about third. Third's one of those.
I was saying second.
I was
saying second.
I think second's a bit out of us. I think the second might be a bit out of our reach.
I was sort of saying second, like we can catch City.
Yeah.
6 points behind them, but then I think we drew and then they went, well, how many points are we behind City now?
Yeah. Behind City, we are, what's that? 11 points.
Yeah, but we got a game in hand.
We've got a game in hand.
And the City thing, even that, the second.
Yeah, even that. Like I said, if you just crunch,
attack third, mate.
Like I said, when you crunch the numbers and think of if we were to win every single game between now and the end of the season, it still would leave us on a points total that 9 times out of 10 probably won't win you the league. So
yeah, exactly. Honestly, the league talk to me is just the most
ridiculous.
Wild, like, it's
ridiculous.
Not even in my brainwave. But we went through this from the trinity of how
Yeah.
KG's brain arrives there. He's on a treadmill. His brain goes,
It's
that'd
just
be nice. That's how his brain works. My brain couldn't
just
think of anything more
ridiculous.
silly than to think of the league.
No,
That's just how my brain is. Because I'm too safe, too sensible, all of that sensible Sally. Just like, we can't win the league. Obviously, we can't. Why not think of that sort of thing?
Not even my thing is not even in terms of like, oh, like you have no belief, whatever. Mine's just literally just more the maths don't math. The maths don't math. They don't. The numbers do not. You know what I mean? Get the abacus out.
To me, it's just
carry the one.
And
you just go. This does not. That does not. That does no.
Yeah. But like you say, we all have different things that make us tick. You know
maybe
everyone's allowed to have that. We shouldn't take away a man's way of going. This is what works for me.
Indeed,
you know what I mean?
indeed.
So
yes, yeah. We've got close to 900 people watching. Fleck, we're only at like 150 likes. We're only at 150 likes.
Pause the show.
I'll get
the show.
Feeling test.
Where's the mic feeling? There he is. There.
We'll go on strike or something like that.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's match day.
It's match
You know
day.
what I mean?
Look how excited Marcel is for match day.
Yes.
Look at that.
It's match day, guys.
It's match day. You got to be feeling like that. That's what you got to be feeling.
Please drop a like on the video, people. They're flying up now.
Yes.
177. Exactly. You guys are doing the work now. This is amazing. It's not even work. It's just showing love. You guys are showing love. Because I get it. It's match day. We're excited, but
Maguire, Fleck. Harry Maguire. Now, he could be, and looks like he is going to be staying. An interesting update. An interesting update this morning came from Simon Stone from the BBC. So, this is the latest. Well, how are you gonna, he said it should be welcomed because he's done an article. I think his point. Look at the title. Why Man United fans should be glad if Maguire extends stay. Bloody hell! Put your point out there. I thought the BBC is meant to be impartial. Simon Stees. But yes, he says talks about Casemiro. Basically, it's a big love fest. The whole article for Maguire saying how great he is. But the article talks about Casemiro, of course, leaving in the summer. And it says, when Casemiro's vast experience is going to be lost, it should be welcomed that multiple sources with an understanding of the situation believe a resolution will eventually be found to Maguire's contractual situation that will allow him to remain at Manchester United for at least the next season. Nothing is agreed yet. Until it is, there remains a potential for Maguire to either agree a deal with another club, which under freedom of contract regulations he is entitled to do, or United back away. But the mood music is upbeat.
That's a nice line. The mood music upbeat. It sounds like a Jamie Jackson line, that.
I know. Compromise is likely to be needed on both salary. Maguire is one of United's highest paid players, and maybe the contract length. But then he points out that through Burnley, Brighton, City, and beyond, Maguire played every single minute of the 4-match winning streak Carrick started his spell in charge with. And that's kind of that bit worries me. I'm going to be honest.
That's a bit, you don't like it because you're like, I can't rely on that again. You're just basing it off the 4 games.
That's recency.
Injuries,
you know what I mean? That's the bit that concerns me. Like I've said my point on there. If it was up to me, I would be like, let's leave it. You know,
Would you just leave it now? If I gave you the choice right now, would you go, thank you, Harry, but let's give it a miss. We'll move on. Would you do that?
If a really favourable compromise could be reached,
like
no. He's around like 100 for maybe 1+1, maybe something like that.
Owen, I think you're bang. I think that's what it'll be. I think that's what it'll be. Something like that.
If it was like
maybe
that,
a 2+1.
then I'd go,
Might give
then
a
I'd be like, okay. But
afterwards.
I'm just of the thing of we've kind of done this in the past where players' contracts are coming up, experienced players' contracts are coming up. You know, like Matic. You know, those kind of players.
Just hanging on too long.
And we hang on a little bit too long, and we go, because we see it with all players, not just Harry Maguire, but towards the end of their contracts, start playing pretty well, get in the team, go on a bit of a run, and we go, we can't afford to lose that. Like I mentioned it with Casemiro. If that announcement hadn't come out about Casemiro leaving at the end of the season, we'd be having serious debates. We'd be going, we'll be having the same debate. If we can just get a compromise, because look how great he's playing. You know, look how he's playing so great. He's our best midfielder. Like, oh my God, Casemiro, you've got to stay. But because the decision's been taken out of our hands, we're like, right, easy. He's going at the end of the season. It's a nice send-off. And I just feel like Maguire should be the same. And even though that Simon Stone says there, well, he played in that 4-match winning streak, he also got injured again during that time. And he's had injuries this season. He's a bit older. And all right, if he stays as a backup option, cool. But I don't think people are kind of thinking of him as a backup option. That's kind of my thing about it, because I've said this before. Who's our starting centre-back partnership next season?
You would like to think out of what we've got, you want to start saying, can Lenny start being the guy? He hasn't got momentum now, so it's hard. But you know, football changes so quickly. Right now, okay, let's break it down into subsections. And this is what your point is about recency and what does it look like in the future, etc. Right now, from now to the end of the season, for 12 games, Harry Maguire is and Leacher is our best partnership.
For the rest of the season.
That's what fine. It is. And listen, even that can change very, very quickly, by the way, because say Harry we don't know yet, but that little calf injury he's got, or picks up injuries, and Lenny's got to play. Lenny might see out the crucial last 9 games, and all of a sudden you go, tell you what, we are ready. Things change like that. Not trying to do flex judge. Fucking Leacher could get injured again, get groin strain, and then you got to play left-footed Aiden. Aiden's got to play, and then he sees it out. And you don't know. But right now, if Carrick's got his choice to say, right, you can choose what you want for the end of the season, he's going to say, they're my pair, and I want to keep them fit and ready to go. Experience, know what they're doing, and dependable. I think that even De Ligt coming back, you can say that he's the preferred thing, but he's going to be out for so long. By the time he gets back, getting back in is going to be a tough ask for him.
That's what I mean. Yeah, people are saying in the chat, they're going De Ligt Leacher as the starting centre-back partnership. Which, look, don't get me wrong. If they're fit, then you go, that's a strong centre-back partnership. But you look at those options there that All Elite puts up there, and I just have massive concerns about reliability of, frankly, all of them. You know what I mean? I'm like De Ligt. Injuries this season and injuries throughout his career. He's been known to pick up injuries. Maguire. It's funny that all of this talk about Maguire, because I remember just a couple of months ago when he had that calf injury, and the discussion was at the time, wasn't it, of, actually, I'm maybe a little bit glad that he's had this injury, because it's kind of just stopped the conversation about Maguire's contract, because, he's been out for a long period of time. Now he's come back in, and now he's like, actually, let's keep him, where the injury concerns are still an issue. Yoro, I'm with you. I'm a really big fan of Letty Yoro, and I think he will be Man United centre-back starting.
It'll be his third season, so you talk about grounding, you talk about learning,
But he's still young, and as we've seen, I don't think we should be in that position yet to be relying on him of every single week he's got to start, because he's got to be able to come in and out of the team when his form goes down. Aiden Heaven's still a really young guy, and if those centre backs were maybe a bit more consistent and more fit, you'd probably end up going out on loan or something like that. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked for that. And then with Leacher, the thing with Leacher too is it's injuries, isn't it? He's had it's not necessarily muscular injuries, but he's had some big ones, big ones. He's had two big ones. You are you the same kind of player afterwards, kind of thing. So I look at all of those centre back options and I go, I think that's why you would let Maguire go and bring someone in that's a bit younger, maybe doesn't have as much like sort of injury baggage, particularly if they're going to be a backup, which we're saying Maguire is going to be next season. I think that if you're going to have the squad player, maybe you get a squad player that's, you know, a bit younger, a bit fresher. And then if Delict is still going to have
with a mascara,
if Delict is still going to have his injury issues, you've got someone that's, you know, younger, can bed in, and maybe isn't going to be as injury prone or something like that.
But they're looking at it from the other side. They're looking at it from the other side of when someone's injured or what, you've got a lot of games next year going to be in Europe. He don't have to start all the games, so he will be fresh. He can be a leader. He does know what's going on in the background. You need people out in the dressing room. He's the perfect person to kind of come in and out. And also the other side of it is that you got 5 centre backs there. We play with 2. We're going to be in a lot of competitions. You keep mixing and matching amongst that. There's enough difference in variety of type of centre backs in that. And also, I would say that what we tend to do, which is kind of rightly so, but also we don't think of the other side, which is Dilit's had a lot of injuries. Oh, I'll tell you what if he just puts that behind him and then actually he's fit all the time?
Well,
Dilic's, you know what I mean? Same with Leacher. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you go, he's playing really well. Maguire can't even get a game. Yora can't even get a game. You know, and they just keep mixing it out. They play in the FA Cup, play in the Carabao Cup.
Well, also as well, the reason, and again, this is why I lean on the Maguire one. Out of those centre-back options, Maguire's really the only one we've got a really feasible chance of getting rid of. We know what it's like at Man United, don't we? In terms of trying to move players on, we're not good at it. We're not. Out of any of those players, if you were going to go, right, you know, we maybe need to bring in a centre-back just to have a bit more stability there. Maguire's the only one you can really move on because his contract is coming up. And for All Elite, they're saying, do we have the money to bring in a better centre-back than Maguire? This is what I was talking about the other day with the Ineos thing, right? If their recruitment is so good, then they should be able to go out and do it. No problem, right? You know, if their recruitment is as great as people are saying it is, they should have no issue going to find, as you said, Flex, that someone from Liga for like 15 million, 20 million, something along those lines, right? Low wage, maybe even less of a wage than a reduced Maguire wage. Maybe someone comes in on like 70K or something like that as a backup option. And you save that extra bit of money and you put it into getting your midfielder or your left winger or something along those lines, right? If your recruitment is as good as people are saying it is under Ineos, then they will make the right decision on that in terms of either keeping Maguire or, you know, bringing in a replacement for him. I think what it looks like, is it looks like they're probably going to keep him because they've got so much work to do. You know, midfielders, left wingers. I think
there's so much to do, and we can't. The luxury of having the competency and, more importantly, finance to do a plethora of situations. You talk about trust, mate. I don't trust or believe we're capable of that. I just think the midfield is so important and is going to be so expensive. The left wing is a must. You know, fullback potentially need one of those. It's like you're going to look at the centre back and go, there's a quick fix there. There's a quick fix there that Harry's not someone who's going to kick up a stink and try and get more than he's worth, and we can negotiate that fairly easily. Literally, what you said. Here's 100 grand. We'll give you you probably want, let's be honest though, player going into their last big contract. He wants to stay at Man United, but he's going to want a bit secure. I think what's more likely, probably is a 2+1. I would have thought maybe from his camp. Let's push a bit, and then you sell him in the second season, and you trigger the third year, and maybe sell him in the second, or let him leave for 8 million, or I don't know, whatever it looks like. Yeah, and then you go right now. We can really get our teeth into Anderson, Wharton, Baleba, whoever it's going to be. Fucking Tonali. We can get our teeth into attacking options, get our teeth into rebuilding our midfield, and etc. And you don't have to worry about that because there's enough there. Like you said, there's enough there to work with. Yes, we're going to be in the Champions League. So you go, are we really going to be Champions League contenders if Maguire has to play away at the Bernabeu next to, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But football's a funny old game, man. Football's a funny game. What you also need to put into thing is that, like, if the team just gets better and there's good things are happening, midfield's fixed, got your left winger, you know, people are playing to their full capacities and stuff. We get a right back. You know, we'll get a left back. You know, Luke Shaw's not starting or Dallow's not. Whatever. Just improve. If you keep improving, sometimes the players that you had before aren't always the worst problem. They're not. Like, well, and it is about short-termism. It is. Like, for short-termism, maybe the flavour of the month next year, maybe fucking, what's his name has an outstanding season. What's his name? Delict. Maybe the time of the flavor of he's just been ever present. Because when he was only back to this year when he was playing, even though we were shit, we're like, he's one of the best centre backs. He's playing fine. He's strong. He's dependable. He's good. Like, and then all of a sudden you go, do you know what? This season, I don't know about next season, but this season, it's all right with De Ligt and Leacher. He's fine. Lenny Yoro, when he's come in, he's looked fine. It can change. It just can change for good or for bad.
This is the fallacy of these kind of arguments, isn't it? I mean, this is basically what we were discussing before we went live. Is that it is flavor of the month, isn't it? Because this was my point about Ineos the other day about the recruitment stuff. Is that it changes so quickly. Because, for instance, Benjamin Šeško is a great example. There's a huge push for Šeško to start tonight. He should start tonight. He's been playing well. He's been scoring goals. That's a good signing. That's not what was being said about him a couple of months ago, was it? A couple of months ago was, I don't know, a lot of money. Oof, I don't. Does he really fit? And I'm not really sure. Now that's a really good signing. But Mateus Cunha, there's another one going. Kind of, we did the Flex and KG show. We need to maybe have a bit of a conversation. Not that it's not working, but I'm just like, oh, is that a good signing? Yeah, a couple of good against City and Arsenal. This is why you get a Premier League proven player. And Maguire's the same. This season, it's been gone from. I tell you what, he's been injured a lot. He's been injured a lot, and let's just have his contract see out. He plays in those 4 games we win in a row. We've got to keep him for next season. We've got to. And it's funny because actually, there's an argument to be made that actually most positions in that Man United team, you can make a rationale for going, we need to improve on that in the summer. We know midfield, we need to improve on that in the summer. Left wing, we know we need to improve on that in the summer. Even at the striker, again, earlier this season, we're going, I tell you what, in the summer, we might need to go for an experienced striker. Šeško is quite young. Now it's no, we don't need a striker. No. So it will shift. You know what I mean? It will shift. Yeah. I mean, there are positions in the summer that we know are just guaranteed we need to go for. We know we're going for midfielders. But like left back, we need another left back. If Dorgu's now left winger, we need another left back. Our right backs, we're like, well, Dalot, he's shit. Mazraoui, he's good to play everywhere, but we need someone else. Like, so for all of this, like, yeah, we've got so much work to do there. We've got that's why we can't go for centre back. Actually, we can make an explanation to go for any position this summer because we're still like most of our positions are still off it, and we can still do better. And we need a lot of work there. So I think, to be honest, the discussion about what we need aside from maybe the midfield, I think that will change like 3 or 4 times between now and the summer. We'll go for because what will happen, like you said, like for instance, let's say someone throws a massive stinker. Let's say it's Maguire. Let's say Maguire, the next 2-3 games has some absolute stinkers. Then it'll be like, no, actually, let's not touch that contract. You know what I mean? A bit like, it was like it with De Gea, when it was De Gea and it was a couple of good performances. You know what? Actually, yeah, look at this. We need to keep David De Gea. Then he had some mistakes. Was against West Ham when he sort of did the parry, goes in the back of the net, and a couple of mistakes. And it was, you know what? Actually, I think time's up for David De Gea. Too many mistakes now. It's time to go. So for all of these players that the decision is still yet to be made about their future, I think a couple of games this season could still change that conversation, twist it entirely on its head. Now, conversely, if Maguire, let's say, plays and he scores a couple of winners, we ain't going to let his contract lapse. You kidding me? Because it'll be like, you can't. It'll be the pressure will be too much. It'll be too positive. Can't let him go. So I still think a couple of these players they're still fighting for their positions, because if they play well enough, then their position will become less of a priority. If Diogo Dalot had like a excellent next 10, 12 games, it would be, well, maybe we can get through.
But Owen, can I ask you this then? Is that, like when we cuss players and say they're trash, I've seen enough, because obviously Dalot's been here like pushing 8, 9 years or whatever it is. Luke Shaw's nearly 10 years, etc. Is there a way that like players that you just always had a thing of like, no, just honestly move on? Is there a way that things can land in spots where the right manager comes in, the right players are bought to complement the rest, the team's now good, and said player becomes not a problem anymore? Is there I'm not saying give Dalot a new contract. He's actually done all right since Amrim's. I'm talking about Dalot et al. I'm talking about others. I'm talking about like, is there a way that, or is there always a natural? No, the ones that you think have been around too long, the ones that you can see, like, I've seen enough. I've seen you multiple seasons to know your highest, your lowest, your middle, and I've come to the conclusion of, and nothing can change that. Or is it like, Nah, if you get top centre mids, top this, top that, build the squad properly, all of a sudden these guys aren't as bad as we thought they are, is what my question is.
I think it stems into their current contract situation. I think that's why, you know, certain things become less of a priority. So we're talking about fullbacks. Well, we know Dalot and Shaw, they're not going to leave this summer. So for United, there probably isn't a feel of like, well, we need to replace them. We need to go out and replace them. So it becomes less of a priority, you know, and they're like, well, they can do a job. They're not great, but they can do a job, you know, kind of thing. Like, for instance, everyone talks about Luke Shaw, right? Luke Shaw, he's been unbelievably consistent in the Premier League this season, played pretty much every single Premier League game, started every Prem game. So at the moment, it's fine, isn't it? And we know he's not going to leave in the summer, so it's not a need to replace. Same with Dalot. It's like, well, Dalot's not great, but we got 2 right backs. Are we going to go out and replace them when we've got work to do? I think it's a case of like it's timing, isn't it? So we know we need to do midfield overhaul in the summer, and also Casemiro's leaving, so it has to be done.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, it's top of the agenda. Like,
it has to be done.
Yeah,
and I think it's the same for. And I think that's what the case is. So I think you're partially right, you know, and some managers can get more out of them than others. But I think it's also a case of, and maybe that's why Maguire is going to stay, because they just don't want to add it to a list of things that they have to do.
Not
in
now,
the summer.
yeah, because they've got
like,
a lot of stuff.
They're like, what's the best thing for us to do? Do we let him go and find another one, which is a lot of work? Or do we just sort of keep him, reduce wage? He's not going to be the starting centre back anyway. And we focus all of our time, all of our energy, all of our money and resources on getting those midfielders and, you know, the left winger and what have you, that we feel that can take us from finishing 4th or 3rd into maybe going higher. I don't know. The real question is when Shaw's contract is coming up, then what happens? You know, when United actually have to make a decision on it. What decision do they make?
That's different. Yeah, that's I think where you go, you know.
And maybe that's why actually he's going to stay, even because there's a lot of concern, isn't there, of like when the World Cups, you know, come and when, are we going to go back to the Shaw that's there before, where he's out all the time and he's not playing?
And this is the sample size you have to base it off.
He might be playing for a contract then, so maybe he is going to be, you know, a bit more consistent over the next 2 seasons as opposed to 1.
I think with Luke Shaw again, this is where it is true. You should try and get to the end of these shelf lives naturally and just let them go, which is why people are pushing back on Harry Maguire. Why people have pushed back many a time with Luke Shaw. He'll have another year after this where you say, right, a decade, you should be going right. We've reached that great thing. Maybe you get a testimonial, you know, kind of vibe. But you've got to go for the young up and coming. Like you're saying, like if we want to go somewhere, you need to have your left back needs to look like how Lewis Hall does. And now listen, Lewis Hall might not keep that level up, like whether he's going to be the next best thing for a long period of time. It's about longevity. But I'm talking about like ability, freshness. You know, you need to change. You need to change. You need to, as a starter, you do.
It's annoying, isn't it? The Shaw ones is such an interesting one too, because I know people will disagree with this, but he is actually good. It's not like Dalot.
Dude.
You know, like
Shaw,
yeah,
people, they're saying like Luke Shaw's trash, and he's not trash.
He's not. You know, with Dalot, it is a case of like just not that great. He's average. You know, he's not like a Premier League winning right back. I just don't think that's the case. With Luke Shaw, like he is actually good. Like you were saying the other day about England, you know, you're talking about left back options. He still is in the conversation for one of the best left backs, if not the.
I mean, Nico O'Reilly did Avantis the other day.
But you know what I mean? He's good. He's good. He is good.
He's good.
It's just a case of, you know, injuries and, you know, Shaw is rubbish. Stop it. No, he is. He is actually good. He is. Luke Shaw is in that Bruno territory, in my opinion, whereby because he has been such a lightning rod for however many years that people are so entrenched in their beliefs on them that they just will not concede any movement on them, any ground. You know,
that's what you mean by Bruno thing. I thought you meant like Bruno territory. It's
like the Bruno territory of they've been a lightning rod for so long. Bruno shit. And then if Bruno does something good, it's like, yeah, but he's still shit. And you go, you don't actually believe that. I know you don't believe that. You want to be wrong and strong. Luke Shaw's the same thing. Luke Shaw, like when he does play and he does well, you go, well, he is good. It's just the if. And as I've said before, I think if you have any conversation of he's good if he's fit or when he's fit, then that's already a problem, isn't it? But he is good. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is kind of, again, I just think it's being entrenched in the position on Shaw of like he's got to go. He's got to go, but he can still be good. He can still be good and got to go. You know what I mean? It's just. The problem is with Shaw is that he's been here so long, isn't it? He's been here so long and he's had such amount of time out. that's the frustration. But I think to say that he's not good or he's trash. It's like,
he's not. That's
crazy.
too strong.
He's not trash. He's not trash.
And he's going to prove it tonight again.
Yeah,
that he's not trash by locking up Evil Saka or Tyler Diblin or Ndai if he goes on that side, or Dwight McNeil if he plays on that side. Whoever the right winger is, he's going to prove it by locking them up. And Man United are going to get 3 points. Guys, it's match day. We will see you later on for the game. Owen and myself will be on the match view, locked in, old school times. Just me and Owen. Let's go. Owen, score prediction. What we got?
2-1. I went with 2-1. We might even go 1-0 down, and maybe another late winner, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then the debate about how it's not sustainable, and
even
though that's Man United DNA, it's not sustainable.
I don't know if I'm expecting the sort of bounce back of like, this is chalk and cheese from West Ham. Well done, but I feel like it could be a bit like that. But we just show a little bit more, hopefully. So I'm going to go 2-1 win as well. We will see you then, guys. Let's get the win over the line. Believe, guys. We'll see you this evening for the match. Take care. Smash a like on the video on the way out as well if you didn't, because you're disgracing cheat. Peace.